Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started with our morning meeting. So if you're following along, go ahead and log on to starfall.com. All right, and once you're on there, go ahead and go to our calendar. And before we get started on our calendar, I just wanted to apologize to those of you who were able to make it to the Zoom meeting this morning, or I should say at 11. I'm sorry that I was not able to be there. I will be at the one tomorrow at 9:30, but I was at the classroom getting your new work ready to send out to you all. So I was not able to make it, but I heard that we had some new people that joined in today, so I'm really excited to see who's going to join us for our 9:30 Zoom meeting tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with calendar.
Yippee! It's April 2020. Let's make a calendar.
All right, sorry, I just need to turn my sound up so you can hopefully hear it. Okay, so April 2020. I'm going to go ahead and click on that sparkly green arrow and do the days of the week.
Sunday,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So,
what day of the week is it today?
What day of the week is it today? Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Great job!
So today is Wednesday, April 15th, 2020. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and click on that green arrow on the bottom right corner. And now we get to
fill in the missing day and date.
Fill in the missing day and date. So we just talked about how it's Wednesday, so I'm going to go ahead and drag Wednesday over to the top there. And if yesterday was the 14th, what will today be?
15th.
Yeah, the 15th. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the 15th over.
Great job!
And I see that purple star. So I'm going to go ahead and click that green arrow in the bottom right corner. And now we can
mark any special days this month.
So as usual, I'm going to start with our official holidays of the month. So our first day of the month on Wednesday, April 1st, 2020, that was a holiday. And that was April Fool's Day. That's a very playful and fun holiday. So I'm going to go ahead and put a smiley face on that. That used to be one of my favorite holidays as a kid because I used to like to play pranks on my family, but I was never really good at playing any pranks because I was always laughing too hard to let anything happen. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move to that second week. And on Thursday, April 9th, 2020, that was a holiday. We had Passover. And that was that Jewish holiday that we talked about. So I'm going to go ahead and put a smiley face on Thursday, April 9th, 2020, because that was the Jewish holiday of Passover. Okay, and then on Friday, the day that we had no school, so Friday, April 10th, was Good Friday. And remember, that's the day that people who are of the Christian faith celebrate Jesus dying on the cross. So, and it kind of represents you know that Easter is going to follow that Sunday after. So I'm going to put a smiley face on Friday, April 10th, 2020, because that was Good Friday. We didn't have anything on Saturday, but as I said, what was on that Sunday, April 12th? Yeah, it was Easter. So remember, Easter is the day that people of the Christian faith remember Jesus rising up from the dead, and amongst other traditions that take place on that day. So I'm going to go ahead and put a smiley face on Sunday, April 12th, 2020, because that was Easter. Okay, and then there's no holidays during that week, even though we didn't have school on Monday. So I'm going to go ahead and skip down to Monday, the week of Monday the 20th, and I see that Wednesday the 22nd, 2020, is one of my favorite holidays. Does anyone remember what day this is? The picture will give you a clue. It is Earth Day. So this is that day, remember, that we spread awareness around the world on how we can keep our planet healthy and happy for years to come. So I'm going to go ahead and put a smiley face on Wednesday, April 22nd, because that will be Earth Day. All right, and then our last official holiday of the month is on Friday, April 24th, 2020, and that is the Muslim holiday of Ramadan. Well, at the start of it, I should say. And we talked about that a little bit, and I posted some stuff on our Google Classroom about that holiday, and I will be posting more stuff as we get closer to it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a smiley face on Friday, April 24th, 2020, because that is when Ramadan will begin. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark the days that we didn't have school this month. So, as I said, on Friday, April 10th, because that was a travel weekend, or in Good Friday, we did not have school. So I'm going to put some stars there. And then on that Monday, April 13th, 2020, we also didn't have school, because that was a travel day for the holiday weekend also. So I'm going to put some stars on Monday, April 13th, to show that we did not have school. And then there is one more day that I'm going to recognize this month, and that is a birthday. So I'm going to get our birthday calendar from the room. And January, February, March, April, and April, our friend Harry. It's his birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of birthday cake on Sunday, April 19th, because that will be Harry's 13th birthday. Yay! Okay. So those are all the days that I'm going to mark this month. But you can continue on to mark any other special days that you would like to. But I'm going to move on. And now I get to
Choose a picture for your calendar.
choose a picture for my calendar. So yesterday, I think I chose the boy and the girl walking in the park because it was a beautiful sunny day, and I'm looking outside, and it is another beautiful sunny day. So I think I'm going to pick the picture where they're picking up trash. And this is what my picture will look like for today. but you can pick whichever one you would like. All right, and hooray! So that completes our calendar for the day. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to Chico weather. So I just typed in Chico weather into Google. And remember, we just use this information that's at the top here. But there's a lot of information to talk about. So we'll start with our temperature. So we want to make sure that there is a blue box around Wednesday. So it'll look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend this is a blue box, and then we have W, E, D, which is short for Wednesday. And then we have our weather picture for the day, and I'm seeing a big yellow sun with some clouds kind of overlapping it. And so I think we're pretty familiar with this what weather we're having today, because this has been the common theme of weather in most of our morning meeting. Okay, and then we have, remember, our two temperatures underneath our picture. So I see 80 degrees Fahrenheit and 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So now, since we're talking about temperature, remember, we want to make sure that those three rectangles that are put together that say temperature, precipitation, and wind, so these three right here, you want to make sure temperature is selected as well. And that way you can see the temperature variations throughout the day. But we're just going to look at this part. So this is what it should have looked like if you had pretend this is a blue box around Wednesday. So WED Wednesday, and then our weather picture for the day, and our I did my 5 the right way. I was supposed to do it backwards. Hold on. Nope. It's a hard flip in your head to try and write things backwards. There we go. Okay. Yes. Okay. So our two temperatures, so our high and our low. Which one of these numbers is biggest? Or what will be our highest temperature today? 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 54 degrees Fahrenheit? Yeah, so if you said 80 degrees Fahrenheit, that is correct. So 80 degrees Fahrenheit will be our highest temperature of the day. And if we look on our weather temperature scale and we go to find 80, it should be nice and big right here, easy to identify. 80, we are right in here. We are in the warm temperature range, and I know I'm wearing a long sleeve, so it probably doesn't seem like it's warm out today, but it should be warm later on, or even right now. So it looks like it's 78 degrees Fahrenheit right now, but it will be the highest temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit today, so that will be warm. So nice t-shirt, even tank top weather. Okay, so since we already talked about our highest temperature of the day, this must mean that this is our lowest temperature of the day. So 54 degrees Fahrenheit on our scale. Okay, so here's 50 and here's 55. And I know that 54 is going to be in between these two numbers, but it's going to be closer to 55 because 54 is 1 less than 55. So right here. So 54 degrees Fahrenheit is a cool temperature. I would agree with that. It's a cool temperature for sure. Okay. So now that we have talked about our temperature, we're going to go ahead and move on to precipitation. So that means that we want to make sure when our 3 boxes, or rectangles I should say. So the first one says temperature, then precipitation, and wind. So we already did temperature, so we want to make sure that it is clicked on precipitation. This rectangle is clicked on, and when that's clicked on, you'll get to see that blue line with percentages that show our chances of rain today or some type of precipitation. But you can also see at the top where it says precipitation, humidity, and wind. So above those 3 rectangles, it'll say precipitation, humidity, and wind, and then give you some numbers. So we're going to be looking at our precipitation and what percentage is next to that. And according to the Google machine, it is 0%, which also explains why there is a stable or flat blue line when you look at our chances of precipitation throughout the day, because there are none. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to our wind. So we want to make sure that wind is selected here. So temperature, precipitation, wind should be selected. And then you'll see those arrows with the miles per hour. But it also says at the top. So at the top, remember we looked at the precipitation, 0%. We're going to just ignore humidity. And we're going to look at what that says next to wind speed. So our average wind speed will be 6 mph, or 6 miles per hour. So I'm looking outside right now and I see the wind is blowing a little bit, but not too crazy, because 6 miles per hour is not too high. So it's a nice light breeze, which should be refreshing since it'll be 80 degrees today. So now, let's see. Now we're going to go ahead and look at our temperatures for tomorrow, Thursday, so that we can fill in the part where we compare weather between today and tomorrow. So if we were in the classroom, remember, someone would write what today's weather is going to be and what type, and then what tomorrow's weather is going to be and what type. So to figure that out, well, we know that today, so we talked about, is going to be a high of 80 degrees Fahrenheit. But tomorrow, so to figure out tomorrow's highest temperature, you want to make sure that there's that blue box around Thursday And then find the biggest number underneath that big yellow sun. And I see 81 degrees and 52 degrees. So our biggest one should be 81 degrees. So our highest temperature for tomorrow will be 81 degrees Fahrenheit. And we talked about the weather pictures, or what that's going to show us our weather type. So our weather picture for today was the sun with the clouds slightly covering it. So that means today is going to be partly cloudy or mostly sunny, whichever you prefer to call it. So partly cloudy. And tomorrow, Thursday, I just see a big old yellow sun. So that means it'll be sunny. So if we look and compare the two, so today will be a high of 80 degrees Fahrenheit and partly cloudy, and tomorrow will be 81 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. All right, we got a nice, beautiful couple of days, and this weather's looking nice. I'm looking at the forecast ahead right now, which you can be doing yourself and maybe quizzing yourself or your family. And we got a few beautiful days coming up, but weather changes every day, so hopefully they'll stay beautiful. Okay, so now we are done with weather, but you can continue on with weather if you'd like from your home. Now we're going to do a social story. And we're going to start a new topic, and this topic is conversation, because conversation and being able to have a conversation is an important skill that we all should have through life. So today we're just going to do a very broad, general idea about what a conversation is. Okay, so what is a conversation? I like to talk. Dad sometimes says I talk his ear off. He means that I talk too much. Dad says that the best kind of talking is called conversation. Conversation is when two or more people take turns talking and listening to each other about the same thing. For example, Dad and I were talking about the movie we watched last night. That superhero movie was really great, I said. I liked it too, said Dad. What was your favorite part? I liked the car chase. What part did you like? I asked. I liked the part where the really tall building fell over, said Dad. Can we watch that movie again tonight? I asked. I guess so, Dad answered, after you finish your homework. Dad and I had a conversation. There were 3 reasons I knew it was a conversation. So here we go. So that whole scenario I just read you, they were having a conversation, and these are the 3 reasons why it was a conversation. First reason, they took turns talking. So he talked, then his dad talked, then he talked. Neither of them just talked the whole time without stopping. So they took turns. The second reason it was a conversation is they listened to each other. So in a conversation, you can't just talk, you have to listen too. Then you can respond to what the person said. So that's why it's important to listen. When I said that I liked the superhero movie, Dad said he liked it too. He heard what I said and responded. Then he asked me about my favorite part. I could answer him because I heard what he said. So the reason that this whole conversation worked is because they were both listening to each other. So they both were listening for the moment when they could respond to each other instead of talking over each other. Okay, And then the third reason why it was a conversation is that they talked about the same thing. This is a big, important thing. Dad and I were both talking about the movie we watched together. It would have been frustrating if I just talked about the movie, but Dad talked about what he read in a book instead. I like to talk. I am learning how to have conversations with people. Conversations can be fun. So talking about the same thing, that is a huge, important part of a conversation, because no one wants to have a conversation with someone who's only going to talk about what they want to talk about. So this worked out to be a conversation between this kid and this dad because they were talking about the same thing. And it would have been frustrating if one of them wanted to talk about a movie and the other one wanted to talk about a book. That wouldn't really work because you're not talking about the same thing. So, tomorrow we will go over how to start a conversation, but I wanted to just generally introduce what a conversation is and the 3 key factors of a conversation. That way we know about it so that we can practice having a conversation when we learn about it tomorrow. So, again, So a conversation is when 2 or more people take turns talking and listening to each other about the same thing. And there's those 3 important parts. So the first important part was taking turns talking. So in a conversation, it's important to take turns. In a conversation, it's important to listen to each other. That's another one. The second part, you need to listen to everyone in the conversation. And the third, remember, was talking about the same thing. How are you going to have a conversation if you're not talking about the same thing? That you would just be talking out loud to yourself if you weren't talking about something that the other person was talking about. So, I hope this helps. I know a lot of you already might understand what a conversation is, but this is a really nice breakdown of the important parts of it, and I hope this helps you understand what we're going to go over tomorrow for a social story. So, be looking out for that. I will put everything that we just talked about, so the general what a conversation is, into our Google Slides like I normally do, and I'll post them on the Google Classroom. But other than that, that is the end of our morning meeting for Tuesday. Nope, today's not Tuesday. Wednesday. That is the end of our morning meeting for Wednesday. See, I'm thrown off because we didn't have school on Monday. So I'm a whole day behind. But it is Wednesday, April 15th. And this is me signing off, telling you all to have a wonderful, beautiful day. I hope you all get to go outside and enjoy this beautiful sunshine that we have. Bye. See you tomorrow.